friends, welcome back to Power Query series. In the previous video, I've explained how to create a quick dashboard using the connection created with the help of Power Query and using the data from different Excel files. Also, I've explained how to add multiple pivot tables and multiple pivot charts to construct the dashboard without much effort and very quickly. Also, you have seen how to add data to the existing file and without doing any step, just by clicking the refresh button, how to update the report. In today's video, I'm going to explain the same process in Power BI's Power Query Editor. I'm going to explain this entire process in two ways. One is take the code in Power Query Editor of Excel. That means just copy this code and paste it into the Power Query Editor of Power BI and see how the transformation happens. So without having any extra step, how quickly we can adopt this code into the Power BI Power Query Editor, so that you'll understand the similarities between the Excel Power Query and Power BI Power Query. Second, I would like to explain each line or each statement and why this code is recorded by Power Query Editor and what is the meaning of it. Now I need to copy this code. You may have many questions like what is this code and where this code is coming from, how this code is generated. You can call this code as mquery or mlanguage. And this code is generated while transforming the data using the Power Query engine, using many options available in the GUI, that is graphical user interface, that is called Power Query Editor, and each step is generated one by one. Anyway, I'm going to explain this entire code statement by statement, that is line by line, shortly, so that you'll understand how this code is created. If you visit the previous parts, you'll also understand a little bit about it. Copy the code and let me open a new instance of Power BI where I need to launch the Power Query Editor. To launch the Power Query Editor in Power BI, I need to go to the Home tab and under that, Transform Data and select the Transform Data option. This will launch the Power Query Editor. There I need to select the new source. In Power BI Power Query Editor, this option, the new source and recent sources and enter data, these options are in the left hand side. The same thing you will get in Excel Power Query Editor in the right hand side. So that is the only small difference. In this case, now I'm not going to deal with Excel directly because in this mquery, whatever I've now copied is containing all the requirement. So I need to add a new blank query. Let me select new source. Now I'm selecting blank query. And I need to open the advanced editor and then let me delete the old code and paste it. And interestingly, whatever the work you have done in Excel Power Query Editor is enough to take care of the transformation in Power BI as well. If I press done, you can see the data loaded in Power Query Editor the way it was loaded in Excel. Now let us understand the code part. mquery or mlanguage is a scripting language used by Power Query engine to transform the data. mquery means mashup. It is actually getting many sources of the data and meshing up and making it a proper shape the way you want. So it's meshing up, that is the word, that is why we use as m. mquery is a functional language. It has got large library of functions. It uses many functions and gets the result. That is why if you look at the M code, it is a step-by-step approach. Each step has got a name, user-defined name, and then each step will use the previous step as a starting point. For that, we need to jump into the advanced editor to see the code. Let me jump into the advanced editor and let me zoom and understand the code. If you look at the code is starting with a syntax let and ending with in and one step. So what exactly is this? This is the last step in all these steps. If you look at the last step which was used was added custom. And let me show you the same thing in the applied steps. If I go to the properties pane, there are many steps and this is the last step. So it is ending at that step. So it starts with let and ends with in and the last step name. Now again, let me jump into advanced editor and let me explain why this language is called functional language. If you look at the steps like change type, I want to change the data type. So the function is table.transform column types and I have given certain arguments. Based on that, it is giving the result. So the transformation is happening there in the query table. Same way, if I wanted to remove column, the function is table.remove columns and table.replace values, table.replace value. These are the functions and arguments. And each argument is actually starting with the previous step. So this is actually after the revenue table step because it has got a proper sequence. If you don't follow the sequence, your model will not be proper. So first you have taken the source from the Excel workbook. That is why the source equal to excel.workbook. File contents taken from the file, the location along with the name of the file. And then if any nulls are there, please take them as it is. And then it is actually named as revenue table because it is grabbing the table called revenue. For that, it has used the step source. From the source, item equal to revenue, table equal, kind, what kind of it is. It has got sheets also, it has got table also. So it has taken the table, not the sheet. And then please grab the data. Then next time onwards, all the transformation steps. So these are the first steps. These are the extraction steps. And this is the transformation steps. So this we used for E alphabet, that is extraction, and we are using all these steps for transformation. So that all the transformation steps are having the hashtag and within double quotes the name of the step. So user defined, and each step is taken care of and each step has got the previous step name. So that means you cannot have this step any other place if the steps are interdependent. Anyway, we'll be discussing that interdependency in a detailed way so that you'll understand why I'm talking about it. Now, if you start with the beginning again, the source is not necessarily be always source. You can just remove this and name anything. For example, I named it as Vijay. Only thing is the second line or the third line, I need to name this source as Vijay. That is all I need to do. So that what happens, it understands that from the step called Vijay, I'm doing it. And then I can change these steps. For example, I'll just give an underscore for everything to make sure that whether the same thing is getting applied in the Power Query editor or not. So add custom. I'm just adding only few steps. So let me go to add custom. Here also I need to add the step. So you need to make sure that that thing is happened. Now since I have changed the change type, I need to make sure that here also I give the same kind of names. So here also I did. Removed columns, so this removed column should be good. Replaced values, so that this replaced value should be good. Add custom, add custom. So Vijay, Vijay, change type, revenue table, and removed column, replaced errors and replaced errors. I think this I have not done. I by mistake misplaced it. And replaced errors 1 is replaced value. Change type, I think remaining is all good. And if I press done, as it is, nothing changed. Only thing is, if you look at the names, those names are now changed. It is not source anymore, it is Vijay. And if you see those underscores I have added, those are also added here. So that way you can very easily understand the mQuery. It's not very tough thing. Only thing is you need to focus on the steps what you are creating, why they are getting created for. As of now, we have extracted the data with the help of those two lines you have seen in advanced editor, the source and creating the table, and then transform the data with all those other steps. So E, T are finished. Now L need to finish. For that we need to use the home tab, and then in the home tab we need to use close and apply. In Excel it was little different because in Excel the data will be stored within Excel. Data is also in Excel and data will be stored in Excel. There is no specific report interface. The report interface itself is Excel. So it is either load to a table or load to a connection. So we used a connection. But in Power BI, we are actually using this as a connection only. So it is always a connection and connected to the source data. If the connection is lost, for example, if your file location is changed, then this Power BI file will not be able to read the data. So we need to make sure that always the data is connected and kept in a proper place. Otherwise, there is an option to change the source in Power BI or Power Query Editor. So that we'll do with the data source settings. Will be explained in a different section so that you'll understand in a proper manner. So I need to just say close and apply in this case. I need not load anywhere. It is getting loaded automatically to the report view, and close and apply. Now this Power Query Editor is closed. So now ETL process is done. So extraction, transformation and loading is done. Now the data is getting loaded into Power BI report view. So this is coming as a query 1. I can rename it as revenue. Not only here, there also in Power Query Editor also you can do it. Now the time to create a quick report, so that you'll understand how we can create a report in Power BI also. We have created a report in Excel in the last video. In this video, we are creating a report in Power BI. This series, Power Query series, is predominantly focusing on only Power Query Editor, transformation of the data and mQuery. So I'm not much focusing on reporting. So in this case, I'm just giving you a quick understanding of the report. If you want to watch the more detailed version of Power BI reports, etc., the links will be given in this video's description. You can watch them as well. So I wanted to create a report. So let me add a column chart, and then let me add the city, then let me add fees collected. So without creating any measure, I'm doing it. You could have done a kind of report modeling where you use the DAX functions and create complete report model, where from you can drag, drop and create reports in a much more better way. But I'm just using very basic kind of reporting. Not only that, you can double click and then ask a question. So now you can ask a question: who are top 5 customer by fees collected as donut? I think top 5, I need to give a gap. I think it will understand now. And donut also I have not written properly. I think it's coming up. Not only that, now Power BI has got a capability of giving a summary. For example, if I just go to the visualization pane, there I have a small icon, Smart Narrative. If I click on that, a visual is added which will give you complete explanation. I think in this case it is not able to give, but let me see whether it is taking time. Yeah, it's giving a kind of narrative. We can modify this the way we want, and I'm creating a new video on it, how to use Smart Narrative in a much more better way. In the next video, I'm going to explain how to type the mQuery step by step and extracting the data from different sources, not only Excel but also from CSV, web and other sources, and how to transform the data by using many functions. So please keep watching this series to understand what are the capabilities of Power Query Editor and how can you do a better job there. To get notified, please do subscribe if you have not yet subscribed, and if you have already subscribed, please share with many and share your like, so that it matters a lot and I will get more views, and I hope this whatever initiative created will be giving benefit to many people. Thank you very much.